This video is created L for learning. Hi, Miss Emily. What are we learning about today?
Today we will be factoring polynomials when a is equal to 1, when a is not equal to 1, and we will also be factoring perfect square trinomials. Please copy the objective into your notebook.
Yay, I'm ready to learn!
Please copy this expression into your notebook and identify a, b, and c.
A and b are the leading coefficient for the first two terms, and c is the constant term.
That's correct. A would be equal to 1, b would be equal to 8, and c would be equal to 7. The first step to factoring this trinomial is we first have to find two numbers that will multiply by each other give us b squared.
That will be b times b, which is equal to b squared.
Correct. Next we have to find two numbers that when added give you positive 8 and when multiplied give you positive 7.
That will be 1 and 7 because 1 plus 7 is 8 and 1 times 7 is 7.
That's correct. By doing the product map, you can check your work to make sure that it brings you back to the original trinomial.
Now that I've used the product map, I am confident that I had the correct answer because it brought me back to my original trinomial.
Today we will be factoring polynomials when a is not equal to 1. Please copy the objective into your notebook. Please copy this problem into your notebook and identify a, b, and c.
Remember, a and b are the leading coefficient for the first two terms, and c is the constant term. A will be equal to 8, b will be equal to 56, and c will be equal to 48, and they're all multiples of 8.
That's correct. That means that you can easily factor 8 out of this equation to have a equal to 1.
Now we divide everything by 8.
So 8x squared divided by 8 is
X squared.
And negative 56x divided by 8 is?
That will be negative 7x.
And 48 divided by 8 is?
That will be positive 6.
Next we have to factor what's in the parentheses. You can use what we learned yesterday to help you with it because a is equal to 1. To check your work, you would have to multiply these two parentheses by each other and then by 8 to make sure that you get back to your original trinomial.
Yo, hey, that's the correct answer!
In order to check my answer, I multiplied x minus 6 times x minus 1, and then I grouped like terms, and then I multiplied my answer by 8 and got back to my original trinomial.
Now that we have solved the equation and used product map to check our answer, you can be sure that it is correct. Today we will be factoring the difference of two perfect squares. Please copy this problem and the objective into your notebook.
Like this, Miss Emily?
An expression in the form of a squared minus b squared is called the difference of perfect squares. It is important to keep in mind that a squared minus b squared is always equal to a plus b, a minus b.
Remember these helpful hints. The answer will be two binomials. First, get the values of the first terms and second terms of the binomials. Second, connect the first pair with the plus sign and the second pair with the minus sign.
In this problem, x would be a and b would be 64.
So now you have to find the square root of x squared and negative 64.
So the square root of x squared is
X, because x times x is x squared.
and the square root of 64 is?
That would be 8 and negative 8 because 8 times negative 8 is negative 64.
That's the answer!
You can check to make sure that your work is correct by doing product map. You would have to multiply x plus 8 and x minus 8 to make sure that you get back to x squared minus 64.
When using the product map to check my answer, negative 8x and 8x cancel out since negative 8x plus 8x is 0. And I got my final answer, which is x squared minus 64.
Now that you have solved your equation and checked your work, you can be confident that your answer is correct. Today we will be factoring polynomials by grouping. Please copy the objective into your notebook and put the following equation in standard form.
The standard form of a polynomial is when the exponents of the terms decrease from left to right, and the equation on the board is already in standard form.
First, in order to factor this polynomial by grouping, you would have to find the greatest common factor of these two terms and these two terms.
The common factor for x cubed and 3x squared is x squared. And the common factor for 2x and 6 is 2, and these numbers go outside the parentheses.
So now that we've found the greatest common factor of our two groups, we need to determine what would go inside the parentheses to give us back to our original two groups. So what multiplied by x squared would give you x cubed?
X.
Got it. And what multiplied by x squared would give you 3x squared?
3.
And what multiplied by 2 would give you 2x?
X.
What number would you multiply by 2 to get 6?
3. The two terms that were outside the parentheses now become into one parentheses, and the terms that were inside the parentheses become 1, and that is your final answer.
That's correct. So the answer would be x squared plus 2 multiplied by x plus 3. You can also use product math to check your work by multiplying these two binomials to make sure that it brings you back up to this polynomial.
I multiplied my two parentheses by each other and notice how I got back to my original trinomial, and I am now confident that I have the correct answer.
Okay, we gotta get the test. Okay.
Are these bloopers? Today we will be factoring you need to do it with the hand sanitizer. No, Corey, you can't be burning your hair in the video. Okay. No, we have to redo this.
No, we don't.
Other side of ridiculous. Okay.
That is the right answer. No.
Our first try, so why are you in the thing? I was speaking.